There once was a time in this country that the well-informed and educated prepper could buy antibiotics over the counter. Well, in June 2023, that all changed, and now they have to be done by prescription. I'm going to give you a little history about that, and I'm going to show you how Jase Medical can help you get over the hurdle that the government has placed in front of us. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm grumpy, not only in name but in attitude as well, and this is Grumpy Acres Farm. I've got three things to say before we get into the topic at hand. The first one is, I am not a medical professional. Take anything that I say in this video as informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not medical advice. If you feel sick and need medical assistance, contact a trained professional. Hopefully, that trained professional is one that hasn't compromised their morals and ethics for a fast buck from the pharmaceutical industry or out of fear of retribution from hospital administration or the government. Number two, I am not being compensated in this video by Jase Medical. We are affiliates, full disclosure, and the only way that we get anything out of Jase Medical is if you purchase something from them through our link below. Number three, if you're new to the channel and you're not a subscriber, and you make it to the end of the video and you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Come join us here at Grumpy Acres Farm. We do content on homesteading, prepping, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We'd really like to have you join us for a life done free. All right, now, on to the topic at hand. As I said, there was once a time that the well-informed and educated prepper could buy inexpensive, over-the-counter antibiotics. Now, these antibiotics came in the form of fish antibiotics, and you could buy them at any vet store or any farm and home store, any place that sold animal medical supplies. And they made it extremely easy to fill our stocks with much-needed antibiotics. And anybody that thinks about it critically understands the need to have some on hand and not have to rely on going to a pharmacy or getting them prescribed through a doctor. What happens if you don't have access to a doctor or a pharmacy? What happens if the supply chain breaks down and the pharmacy doesn't have what you need? It's a very prudent thing to have these things on hand. And fish antibiotics were probably one of the best kept unknown secrets in the prepper world. When I found out about them a long time ago, I was very skeptical, so I did a lot of research. And what I found was kind of shocking. You know, a lot of these fish antibiotics, the people that made them were the same people that made the ones that you bought over the counter at the pharmacy, that you got through prescription from a doctor and you bought at a pharmacy. In fact, in a lot of cases, the actual pills themselves were exactly like the ones for human consumption, and so was the dosing. The dosing levels. And so a lot of people took advantage of that, and they filled their stocks, and they had this on hand in case of emergencies. Well, in June of 2023, the United States government changed the way these antibiotics were regulated, and they made it so that they had to be prescribed by a veterinarian or a trained board-certified professional. All right. Now, there's two arguments to this. The argument that the people that pushed for these changes in the regulations and the government took was, we don't want untrained professionals using these things and overusing them and creating these drug-resistant strains. And that's a viable argument. Being in a hospital, I completely agree with the fact that they shouldn't be overused. All right. The funny thing about that, though, from working in a hospital that I know as fact, is that 99% of the time when these drug-resistant strains of bacteria and viruses pop up, they pop up in hospitals, and it's because the medical industry and medical professionals have overprescribed them and overused them. So it's ironic, you know. On the other side of that argument are the people that make the comment that it wasn't done for public health, and the reason that they give is the same people that were pushing for these regulation changes did not say one word whenever Democrat governors were putting COVID patients into nursing homes, embedding them in the most vulnerable demographic in the country. And they also, the same people that pushed this regulation change, basically lied about alternative medicines to the pokey poke. And it's been proven time and time again. And in fact, you've got people now that pushed the narrative that the government was handing out over treatment for the COVID, have now said that they were wrong, and they're actually using some of the stuff that they railed against as prophylactic against future infections from it. All right. So the reasoning, as a lot of people see it, for these regulation changes is very dubious, and more likely it was pushed because pharmaceutical industry did not like people buying these cheaper alternatives. Actually, I say alternatives, and they weren't alternatives because like I said, in a lot of cases they were the same exact thing, but they wanted to be able to mark it up because you were buying it through a pharmacy. So there's the two sides of the argument. You do your research and come to your own conclusions. Don't take anything that I say here as what you should think for yourself. All right, become well informed and educated in the topic. All right. So these regulation changes made it harder for people to get these things into their personal stock, and this is where Jase Medical comes in. And as I said before, I'm not being compensated by Jase for this video. We are affiliates, but we are also customers and well-satisfied customers as well. But Jase has a product called the Jase Case. And what it is, it's antibiotics prescribed by board-certified pharmacists that allow you to have them on hand. And what a lot of people use them for, if they're traveling to another country, they get the antibiotics that are probably going to be most widely used in these countries. You know, they go to these third world countries and they won't have access to medical professionals or pharmacy, so they take them with them, and that way they've got them on hand in case somebody gets sick. And also people put them in their stock, so they got them on hand in case something happens to the supply system or society falls apart. All right, I do not have a Jase Case to show you. And the reason being, like I said, a lot of people stocked up on antibiotics. And so right now I don't have a need for Jase Case. But the wife and I were talking last night, and we decided that we do need to get one in the near future. Our stock of antibiotics is nice and strong, but you never know what's going to happen down the road. And it wouldn't hurt to have some on hand, more on hand, I should say. Now, what I said I was a customer, and since I didn't buy Jase Case, you're probably wondering, what did I buy? So they've also got a bulk prescription service. So if you're on medication like I am, and you want to have some on hand in case something happens down the road a couple of months, you can buy prescription drugs by the year. You can buy your supply of these prescriptions that you've got, assuming that they're on hand in their pharmacy there. But you can buy a year's supply of prescriptions and have them on hand in case something happens. And I was really satisfied. The customer service and the way the process works was extremely easy, and the people at Jase were extremely helpful. And also, you know, on the extended side of that, as an affiliate, I've talked to several of their marketing people, and they have been extremely helpful and very pleasant to deal with. So, you know, as a company, like I said, I'm extremely satisfied with the company, and I highly recommend that you use it for your needs in this regard. All right. Now, if you want to save a little bit of money, go check out their website, and they've got a Black Friday sale going on. Here's the code right here. You can use that code, Black Friday, to get $25 off any purchase through Jase Medical. Now, if you go there, I recommend you go there. Don't take my word for it. Go check out the site and see what they have to say for themselves. If you go there, use the affiliate link down below, because that'll let them know that you came from our channel and that we are recommending them to you. All right? Listen, as I said before, take everything I just said with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Become well-informed and educated. And that way you're making good decisions for you and your family. All right? Listen, again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. Come join us on a journey towards a life done free. And most importantly, I want you to go out today and live a life done free. Take care.
Do you ever think about living in a world where we don't have access to modern medicine anymore?
Infections just aren't going to heal themselves. They're just not going to magically get fixed.
These medications will become life-saving for you and the people you care about. And it's all done online through the Jase Medical portal.
This kit right here, it's called the Jase case.
Jase Medical, they can supply you with emergency antibiotics.
If somebody gets really sick, that might be the only thing that can save their life.
And it's full of the top 5 antibiotics that we would need in an emergency situation.
It's an actual doctor that's prescribing you to this. It can be tailored for you specifically.
Getting our Jase case was super simple. We just went on their website, filled out a short form. It was reviewed by a board-certified physician, and then he wrote the prescription and mailed this to us from a real pharmacy.
This is a great addition to your medical kit.
Thanks, Milo.